better at it or whatever reason?
When I was 12 years old, I tried out for and made the Little League baseball team. It was the first time I played organized baseball. And I was really excited that I made the team, but I really wasn't that good because I was 12 years old and I hadn't played before. All my friends had played before. So I went to every practice and I tried hard. And I practiced in between, and every day I would play catch and I'd hit the ball and I'd practice fielding. I played catch with my dad until it was too dark to see the ball anymore, and that's like, okay, time to quit. And every game I got up, I failed to get a hit. Every game except for one. You might hear that story and think, oh, well, that's life. Right? That's life. Sometimes it is. And that was my experience of life during that time. But it's funny how we always hear that term, that's life, when it's something negative or something bad, right? I got a flat tire on the way home from work yesterday, and someone's like, oh, that's too bad. Well, that's life. Or maybe, you're going for a promotion, and you're all excited, you think you're going to get it, but somebody else gets it. And someone's like, oh, well, that's life. But that's not all that's life, right? Because there was that day that I met my wife, and we hit it off. And then we got married. And we had kids, and our kids were born. And I got hired here at FM Global. Those were all good days. Those are good things. Guess what? That's life too. Life is all of those things. It's the good and the bad. It's the happy and the sad. It's the really hard and sometimes really easy. And we all are old enough that we see that we have these periods in life that we go through. Sometimes everything is great, right? You're happy, your relationships are good, your job is going well. Things are just going so great and it's perfect. But then we also have those times when we struggle, right? I think of it as sometimes we're on the top of the mountain, right? And everything is beautiful and clear and crisp and you're just so happy. And other times you're down in the trenches, knee deep in the mud and the muck. And life is heavy and life is hard. And sometimes we get even lower than that. We get into that pit, right? When we're in despair or depressed, nothing is going right. I've looked back, and during those times in my life, when I'm in the trenches, when I'm in the pit, I hear whispers. I hear voices. I'm not crazy. Sometimes those voices are my dad. Sometimes my mom. Sometimes my brothers. A friend, but in the depths of my soul and in my heart, sometimes I really think it's God Himself whispering to me. Do you know what I hear? It was really hard. It was just a whisper. There's greatness in you. What? What was that? There's greatness in you. And I heard it again. And then I said it, what I thought I heard. There's greatness in me? It was a question, right? I'm like, are you sure there's greatness in me, Steve? And I heard it again, there's greatness in you. And I started to say those words to myself over and over again. There's greatness in me. There's greatness in me. And after time passed, it stopped being a question and became a statement. There's greatness in me. And I kept saying those words, and I started to believe them. Those words started to seep into me. They started to become a part of me. And it became no longer a statement, but it became a proclamation. There's greatness in me. And I hear that at different points in my life. And I'm not saying I'm great. I think that there is greatness in every one of us. That we all need to be aware of that. We all need to think of that possibility that there is greatness in us. Whether we are at the top of the mountain or in the depths of the trenches or somewhere in between. We need to listen for those voices, for those whispers. Somebody here probably is going to think about my speech today and say, gee, I wonder if Steve was right. I wonder if there could be some greatness in me. Well, there is. 'Cause. You need to listen to that. So when I was 12 years old, I worked so hard to become a better baseball player. Practiced all the time. I never quit. I played every day. I tried so hard. I even prayed that I would get a hit. And until that day, I didn't have any success. But on that day, in that game, I got up to bat. And there were two people on base. And I took a swing. And I got a hit. Yay, I got a hit. A single. And those 2 runs scored. I got a hit and 2 RBIs in one game. But I came up to bat again. The second time I came up, the bases were loaded. And there were 2 outs. And I was up there to take my swing. And I swung. And I missed. And I tried again. And I swung. And I missed. And I'm waiting, patient. I'm concentrating. And I swing. And I hit the ball. And I got a hit. But not just a hit. I got a home run. I hit a grand slam home run. I couldn't believe it. I was so happy. 2 hits in Little League. True story. A single and a grand slam. All in one game. And it was great. On those moments during that game, the greatness in me came out. They're just little moments sometimes that you can see that little bit of greatness. And that cycle has repeated itself during my life when I recognize that I have a strength or a skill that I want to develop, and I think, you know what, I could be great at this if I just worked at it. You need to work at it. You can't quit. You need to keep saying to yourself, there's greatness in me. There's greatness in me. And I want you to remember those words. Again, whether you're at the top of the mountain and everything is great, or you're down in the trenches. Hear the whispers, hear the words, and believe there's greatness in you.